So how do I do it? Hello everybody, my name is Julia and welcome to my channel. Here I share my artistic journey, so subscribe if you haven't already. Today I really wanted to talk to you about how did I become an independent artist without knowing anything about music theory or music history. I don't have a music degree, I don't have anything, well at least I didn't have anything, but now I'm kind of starting my journey and I am just developing my project, so I'm not having like millions and millions of streams on Spotify. I'm just figuring it out, but I made a couple of steps that kind of brought me here, so I really wanted to share my side of it and give you hot tips on how to become an independent artist, how to start recording your stuff, how to start putting your music out there, because it's not actually as complicated as you think it might be. So I was overthinking a lot, and when I started thinking about my music project and me being like a recording artist, that freaked me out because I was not having any, base for it. I don't have a degree in music. I studied piano when I was a kid, but that was like a long time ago, and it was nothing basically. So I didn't play any instruments. I sing, but I'm not the best vocalist. I write songs, but they're not like, very, very good. So I was just like, what do I do? How do I even start? Because I started out as a producer, then as an actor. So I started new careers every 2 years pretty much. So I was thinking about becoming a designer first, then I started producing stuff for film and TV, and then I started my acting career without knowing anything about acting too, and then now I'm starting my music career. So I've been through a lot of experiments and a lot of kind of figuring out what I want. Music career is something that I really want to do, and I realized that not that long ago. That's the fun part of it. I'm 23 at the moment. I'm turning 24 very soon. But I realized that I actually want to become a musician not that long ago. I was thinking about music career, but as it happens often, like once you don't have your background in music since you were like 3 years old, you're kind of thinking that it's for the others, not for you. And I was, thinking maybe I shouldn't do it. Like, it's just like maybe I need to become a famous actress first, and then I started my music career. But then I started meeting people who were doing this thing, and that encouraged me to start my music project, and that was so inspiring actually. I started writing songs, and that's a mystery to me. I will record a video on how do I write songs, but I just started writing songs out of actually nowhere. It just happened to me. Last summer of 2024, I couldn't book anything in terms of acting, and that encouraged me to actually start writing songs because I had so much of creative kind of energy and I couldn't put it into anything. So I started writing my own stuff, and that became one of my favorite things to do. So first of all, you need to figure out if you can write songs. There's so many ways how you can write a song. There are so many ways of doing it, because writing songs is hard, but also it's pretty simple. Like the actual process of it is pretty simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it at first. So figure out how you can write songs and if you can do it, because I figured that was one of my kind of talents that I had. I never ever thought about it. I was recording some stuff that I had when I was, a teenager. I was recording it on my voice memo, but I was just like, what, it's not even a song. What is it? I'm not gonna use that. And how do I use that if I want to? I didn't even know how to put it together. Once I started writing stuff seriously, I was writing honestly because I never thought about it. And once I started, I wrote about 20 songs in 1 week. Like the first, like, I don't know, first 50, 60 songs were pretty bad. Like, they were not bad, but they were not good either. Once I had my melody and I had my lyrics, I had everything, I was just like, how do I do the arrangement? That was like my biggest question, like, who do I go to do the arrangement? So I was looking for music producers, and that's one thing you want to do. You don't need a fancy studio to write your stuff. You can write your stuff and write your songs here in your bedroom. You don't even need that. You don't even need that. I didn't use any of that when I was writing my first songs. You just need your notebook and your phone. That's literally it. You need to start writing, and then you need to start looking for people who can produce your stuff. I live in LA, so it's not as cheap. But if you are looking for a music producer, they can be from anywhere else. And you can look for them on social media. You can look for them on websites like Sound Better, for example. That is one of the websites where you can look for anybody who is like in this industry. You can ask around if there are any people around you who know good music producers, and just listen to their stuff and send them your stuff and see if they can be, if they can do something for you and they can do the arrangement that you're looking for. Then you need to know your references. So like, what is your main reference? What is your main artist? Who are they? Like, what are they doing? What kind of sound are they putting out there, right? So ever since I was a kid, I was a big Taylor Swift fan. I love Olivia Rodrigo. I love ABBA. I love old stuff in general. So I'm like targeting pop, but also like vintage pop kind of. So that's my idea and that's my vibe. Indie pop, that's what I love. And I'm looking for producers who are working with that genre specifically. So if you are looking for pop music, right, you're not gonna connect with people who do EDM, for example, or hip hop in general. I mean, they can do it, but they're like genres, and you need to target producers and the audience that will, be within your genre. So you need to do your homework, sit down and figure out like what genre do you want to make? What kind of visuals are connected to that genre, right? Like, because putting out your songs is not only putting out your songs, you need to do great visual work with the song so people can kind of see it. Also, what you need to do once you get to work with producers, you need to make a contract, which is very important. Nobody told me this, but it's like a basic contract of what kind of services do they provide, how much money do you pay, what are the timelines and all the stuff. Ask ChatGPT to do it for you and just sign it so you have it on paper. What are they providing and what are you paying, and how are you splitting the royalties, if you are splitting any royalties. I don't think you should if you're paying for that, for the services. If you're paying for the services, you don't have to split anything. You get everything like 100% to yourself. So make sure like that stuff. Also, just go online, look up basic stuff. If you're putting any music out there and it gets viral at some point, you need to make sure that right people will get the money for it, So once you get with the producer, you just need to tell them what you want. You show them the references, you show them your basic demo that you have. Maybe it might be just like, the lyrics with the beat, or you play any instrument and you can like do the basic chord progression, for example, right? So like, if you have any demo that you have, you show it to the producer and they know what to do, but they need to understand like your reference, and that's the most important thing. Like, you might not be like the best musician, but you need to know what you want specifically, because if you don't know how to communicate what you want, nobody's gonna, do it for you. There are sessions with producers, or there are like, sessions online that I had with producers not from LA. So I just tell them what I want. I'm kind of show them the references, the sounds that I've been looking for, and that's how we get the song. Then there is a mixing and mastering part, which is very, very complicated, because mixing and mastering is not only about just making the song sound professional, it's about how we as humans perceive the sound, and depends on how good mix and master will be, the song might change tremendously. So make sure you are going to a good mixing and mastering engineer. That might be the same person who produces your song and makes the arrangement, or it may be a different producer, or it might be a different mixing engineer, which is also okay. I know a lot of people do arrangement by themselves and then they send it out to a good mixing and master engineer, so they, they're not, for example, from LA and they do it way cheaper over there. You want to become an artist, right? And being an artist is not only about recording, writing, and putting your music out there. It's also about your presence, your stage presence, your performing skills, how good of a singer you are, right? So in order to improve that, you will need to sing and perform as much as possible. I'm taking voice classes right now. I'm taking my voice classes every week. I show it here and I've been taking voice classes since 2022, but that's one of the parts. Like, if you want to become a great musician, you need to learn your craft and keep learning every single day. If you want to do it, please take classes. Don't think that it's just gonna be there. Like, if you want to make it sound good, you need to put in effort, right? So take voice classes, go to open mics. That's one of the things that I really recommend, and I will talk about it a bit later. But okay, so we got the song, right? You wrote a little bit of, you wrote the song, you sent it out to your producer, you got the arrangement, you're figuring out like your sound, then you got your final mix, and how do you put it out there, right? So there are a couple of services that provide distribution for independent artists. For example, like DistroKid, or there are actually a lot, but I use DistroKid. You just put everything on there, the name of the song, you put the song, you just put everything you want, do an artwork for it, just like a picture that you want to put as a cover of a song, and you release it. And basically it goes to all the platforms you want: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, any platforms you want. So it's very easy in terms of that. But then there's another thing. You need to promote your song. For example, you don't have a label, you don't have a manager, you don't have anybody who kind of takes care of it, and you don't have a lot of budget for it, which is also it's me. So you record it yourself. You go on TikTok, see what's going on up there, like what is going viral, and try to kind of target the audience that you want to listen to your song. So, tell the story about your song, like how did you write it, how did you make it, and people will eventually connect with your art. If it's good, it's on a good level of production. If your story is solid, they will connect with you eventually. So I would definitely recommend to kind of film as much content as possible with your song. Make your friends film content and support you, because why not? Also, what you can do is you can submit your song to playlists. There are a few services that provide that. For example, Submit Hub, Groover, I think. You can submit your song to curators online, and they can, put your song on their playlist. But I would definitely recommend to kind of submit your song and get feedback and just see, how's it going? Like, how is it like going out there? Then once you have your stuff out there on Spotify, you go and connect with people and you perform and you put yourself out there as much as possible. There's so many open mics in LA where you can go to and perform your original stuff, connect with fellow artists, with anybody else who goes out there, and see where it takes you, honestly. Go to networking events, meet other producers, meet other artists, and just do it, because nobody else will see you if you don't do it yourself. Take classes, learn how to play any instruments, and what I'm doing right now is that I'm doing an independent music production course at UCLA, so I learned how to use Logic Pro. I learned how to, the music recording theory, how to mix and master and produce and like all that stuff. And I've been learning so much just from YouTube. I spent $0 on that. I just went on YouTube. There are so many tutorials on how to produce your stuff, on music theory, on music production, so many. So please go on YouTube and learn how to produce your own stuff. Just in terms of demos, I was just like, you know what? I don't do production. I don't do that. But honestly, now I can actually, more I do, more I can think of and create. And that's an endless game. You will learn more and more and more. And I learned so much about songwriting just because I wrote so much stuff already. And it was just like, compared to other artists who's been doing it for years, that's so little. So, I'm learning so much stuff just by doing it. So more you do, more you learn and more you experience. So definitely learn how to produce minimum stuff. Use Splice as your helper. It's a royalty-free platform where you can find all the samples and create from the samples. Espresso, the song, was literally 3 loops from Splice. So definitely go there and just look for any samples that you want to use in your song. And trust me, that will help you so much. And I learned that connecting with other artists was so great, because I made friends in this industry and we collaborate and work together and support each other and help each other with the artwork and with the videos and with everything. So I think it's very important to have this community around you who can support you. You might get very lonely sitting in your bedroom writing songs. Once it was starting out, I was just like, oh my god, I can't sing, I can't write the biggest hit of all times. But you don't have to. It takes years and years and years to develop your career. So don't be harsh on yourself and just, try out things and see where it goes, where it takes you. You can find my social media and my Spotify in the comment section or in the description box. Thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.